following President Buhari's approval that $1 billion be taken from the excess crude account to fight terrorism, there have been reactions from different people across the country for and against the release of the funds. The Minister of Defense, retired Brigadier General Mansur Dan Ali, has said that President Buhari granted assent for the release of $1 billion for the procurement of security equipment to fight insecurity in the country. But the opposition party, the PDP, are against the approval for the money without recourse to the National Assembly. We spoke with the federal lawmaker, Senator Magnus Abbey, to get his thoughts on the release of the funds.
From my own clear understanding of the situation, there are those things that would require a military solution in terms of acquiring more hardware and then acquiring greater capacity to be able to confront some of these insurgent situations when they arise. There are also economic solutions in terms of trying to create a wider social net and greater opportunities for some of our young people. And there are also moral solutions in terms of the kind of examples that we as parents, leaders and all that, traditional rulers and others are setting in our different communities. So it's not a simple problem that has a simple, one silver bullet solution, but the whole mix of things that are necessary to put in place. But I would say that the most important thing we require at this point is money. Money for training, money for infrastructure, money for welfare of those who are to secure us, and then money, anything that you need to do, as they would say in pidgin English, soup way sweet, na money killer. So clearly the amount of investment that we're making into security in this country is totally inadequate for the population and for the spread that we need to achieve. So we just need more funds. You can't have a situation where, in a division of the police, for example, how much do they get? Who fuels their vehicles for them? Where is the money supplied for that? Where do the men sleep? What happens to them when they are sick or they're shot and all that? All these issues are things that you need to take care of to get the best out of the men and make even their situations effective in terms of what they can deliver. And all those things requires money, and the money is simply not available. So we need to get more money.
But is it a case of inadequate funds, or rather a case of funds to tackle insecurity have been diverted to private coffers, and that's how we ended up with this whole Dasukigate? So is it a case of, insufficient funding or corruption?
Well, you can say that for that particular situation, as it did come to light, the funds were diverted and it was not used for the purpose for which it was meant. But that is not to say that every other fund will be diverted. Or that is also not to say that we should therefore not make investments into our security architecture because we are afraid that the funds will be diverted. The proper thing to do is that diversion of government resources from the particular use for which they were meant to private pockets or private uses is a crime. And those who commit such crimes should be punished. But as a nation, we must continue to invest in the things that are required to bring us from our present situation into the kind of era that we're all looking forward to. And to do that, we need to invest money. If money is approved for the construction of a road, like we're talking about the East-West Road today, and the money is released and the road is not constructed, somebody has committed a crime. That person should be dealt with. But that is not therefore to say that the road should be left uncompleted and not funded. We still have to look for a way to get the things that are important to us to be completed and funded. So I think that the same reasoning should apply to security.
But people are asking for assurances. What will be different this time if this money, is, you know, this $1 billion which the president has approved to fight, you know, insurgency, Boko Haram, and insecurity in the country. What are the assurances that this would not go the same way as Dasukigate?
I think that the first difference is the difference in the texture of the government that you're talking about. This is a government that has made transparency its watchword. This is a government that has made a pledge, you know, to being adverse to corruption. This is a president that everybody knows is not going to be sneaking a note to the NSA to divert money to his PA domestic